guys, welcome back. A lot has happened since our last video. We've got the structure. We're just finishing up our framing here. All of our trusses are up. We're just finishing with some of our eaves and sheeting. So we've got a lot of awesome features that we can show you guys. This is going to be a great house that shows well for next year's parade. So let's go take a look. Here in the garage, we've got a couple walls that are sheeted with plywood. These two are specifically sheeted because the engineer has specified a shear value to them, or a structural component. So they give strength to the house. However, this wall right here was not called out to be sheeted, but we still do it because we don't want easy passage into the house. It's for safety. If a burglar was able to get into the house and go to a wall that's not sheeted, they just have some drywall to punch through. But if we sheet it, it makes it significantly more difficult for anyone to get past and adds more protection to the home. For instance, here, the entry from the garage into the house, if you have a big fire door that's locked right here, and you have it locked, but we have just two pieces of drywall, we can easily get right through it, or a rock or a hammer, and you're into the house. Same over here, rock or hammer, and then you're into the pantry and you're into the home anyway. So we add that sheeting so that it adds that difficulty and extra protection value. One of the cool features we've got on this house in our trusses is we've built a really tall energy heel. And if we look up here and how this house and how these trusses connect on, the truss tails, or these guys hanging out right here, they usually touch right down on the top plate of the wall. But we've got this extension up about a foot that raises that up. And what that does is that gives us a bigger space between the roof and the wall that we can fill with insulation, increases the R value of our insulation and decreases the amount of energy transfer, making it for a more efficient home. We end up between these trusses, add these truss blocks to be able to add continual strength as we frame all the way up to the roof. And then we've also got a fun framing technique that we learned from one of our building science gurus, Matt Reisinger. It's called monopoly framing. And our sheeting doesn't stop right here below. We take it all the way up to the top so that it touches the roof sheeting. And this monopoly framing allows us to have a continuous sheeting all the way through the house so that we have a totally sealed envelope. And we'll be able to add some caulking and zip flashing into that space and completely seal it off. One of the amazing benefits of using zip sheeting is when you're given a shear value or a nailing pattern to give the house additional strength, it's really easy to be able to follow it. If you have like a standard shear or a shear level 2, you can follow, and it's already pre-marked on all of our sheets, so you know exactly where to place them, and it's easy for your inspector as well. If you have a higher shear level, meaning it requires more nailing or a closer nailing pattern, you'll be able to easily place those according to what your engineer has specified. We've changed our engineering a little bit, and we've used a lot of steel in this build. You can kind of see a little bit of the steel sticking down below, but we've done that because they have some really big headers that are holding weight. And so we're able to integrate them up into the ceiling, use a thinner steel member where a wood member would have been quite a bit taller and would have stuck down below. And that way we have a nice flat roof down here under the deck. Carries quite a bit of weight, so we have steel posts as well that support it. We're getting ready to gravel and pour the concrete down here on this back patio. We've had a couple of people ask us, why we didn't do the concrete first before we built all the patio. We actually do that because we don't want tools and materials falling down on our pretty concrete that's going to show. So we'll get our structure built and get all that high risk of damage done, and then you either have to tear it out and redo it. We found it's best to just do it after all that hazardous stuff is done. And then we'll come in and get all of our concrete poured and be able to pump it from around the side of the house. So here in the basement, we've doubled up our floor joists. It is kind of a wide opening. It's about 22 feet, but doubling up our floor joists and making them our standard 11/7 I-joists allows us to have a really strong, rigid floor that's not gonna bounce or vibrate, and gives it that great strength to be able to span the distance. Again, we've integrated some steel so that we don't have a really big beam in the center. Even with going to steel, it still has dropped down about 8 inches. So, it is holding a big heavy load going all the way from the upper floor and the floor or the roof trusses that are sitting on top of it. Fun details, we've added archways into a lot of our door openings that don't have doors. Here in the basement, where basements are usually quite dark, all the windows are oversized to be able to allow the maximum amount of natural sunlight in. And here, just one of our guest bedroom or guest bathrooms. We've got a nice standing shower here, a big tub that's going to sit right in front of the window that'll have large amounts of natural light to come in. The homeowner's actually having us plant some ivy all the way along the bottom of these so they can start to grow up over this concrete window well. These concrete window wells are beautiful, but it is going to be nice to have some pretty ivies growing on them. There's a closet for the guest bed, and then we'll go around this way. In building a house, there's a lot of things that occur that maybe measurements aren't right on. For instance, this plumbing stack is supposed to be inside this wall here. Maybe a measurement was off from the plumbers before we did all the concrete, but it's a very easy fix. We're able to chisel up the concrete right here, move it over a little bit and fix it right up. It's, we're all human. We're trying to do our best, and so we just roll with it. It's not a big concern or anything, but it's something that can happen. As you might have noticed in this bedroom, this wall has got sheeting on it. It's not for privacy or security like up in the garage. This side is actually for shear strength. The house requires to have a little bit of extra strength inside this room, so our engineer had us ply this wall to give additional strength to it. As we go through here into the bathroom, there'll be another vanity right here, the toilet and a walk-in shower, and then a nice closet. What's nice is this closet's actually going to grow a little bit bigger. This bedroom closet was actually supposed to stop right here, and we had an original furnace that was going to go into this space. The furnace that we are using, we've been able to upgrade and make more efficient, and we're actually able to eliminate this furnace that was originally drawn here and expand this closet all the way out, eliminating a whole nother furnace and those costs to the homeowner, and adding some additional closet space to whoever gets this bedroom. This is a main hallway, and it's a hallway in a basement. But this hallway is 6 feet wide. It's a great way to make a basement not feel claustrophobic. We've done the same thing. We've added the fun arches that we've got throughout the house, but we make it spacious so that you don't feel like you're in a basement. There's another hall bathroom for everyone, big second bedroom here in the basement. One of the items that we've started to do, and we're still working on them, is we're starting to mark the floor out for upcoming trades. We've got our doors marked so that we get the right measurements and swing for all the doors that go around in here. It's going to be a really fun cabinet that's going to show off here, kind of a credenza style with uppers and lowers. Give them some good storage space. And then here at the end, this is her grand storage room. This entire room will be lined with storage cabinets. We did end up digging out and using the space underneath the porch and poured porch caps over the top because they had to be excavated anyway. And so for very little money, we were able to add all this additional space for our homeowners to use. We did that in the very center, right below the front door. And we made an opening because we have a steel vault door that's going to be installed here in this space so that he can keep documents, firearms, and other personal effects safe from any kind of intruders. So this is the main mechanical room. We've got a drain for our furnace and water heater. And these are our radon pipes that we've ran 2 systems throughout the basement to be able to pull any radon gas out. This is going to be a really fun space. This is going to be the home's theater. We've got a little bit of additional space up top because the homeowner wants to have a sitting bar up here to be able to eat food and drinks and be able to watch their show. And then to be able to come around and sit down in their recliners. We've got stairs that are going to go down to the second level, so we'll have a second set of recliners with bean bags and all sorts of stuff in front, and get their projector set up with their big screen and be able to enjoy all sorts of cinematic events with their family. This space is located directly underneath the main 2-car garage. And then this space we've got over here is underneath the 3rd-car garage. We try to excavate and do suspended concrete slabs over all the spaces to be able to maximize on additional space and storage, and it costs very little extra to be able to add this kind of space. We've brought plumbing, water, and drainage down here. She wants to have a little wet bar and a sauna in the back, and maybe some sewing and crafts down here for the grandkids. This space right here under the stairs is still being decided by the homeowners and the designer. They want to have kind of a fun space for the kids to be able to play. They're trying to decide if we build a wall right here with a little kids door that they can get in and use the space to play in, or if they have some kind of a piece of furniture or a piano to show and play here. If they want the kids to be able to walk through, come out like a little door over on this side and be able to use the fun space, or if we just wall it off and use it as some additional storage. So we'll see what the designer ends up getting back to us on what they want to do, and we'll get it done for them. Something that's really pretty right here is from this space all the way up, you get the full 14-foot ceiling and the full basement 10-foot. And so it's a really grand entry stairway. I'm really excited to get drywall on and start doing accent carpentry throughout and really show off the height of this stairway. Again, our framer's doing a really good job of hiding and integrating these steel members into the rest of the house, adding all the necessary lumber so that we can add drywall and carpentry to this space, because there's not much that you can add to steel itself. Here we are in the great living room, dining room, and kitchen space. Still kind of rough right now as we're getting all of the framing finished up. Our kitchen's going to be over on this side right here. We've got dual windows in the corner to really let a lot of natural light in. They've got a really pretty island right here in the middle. Right in the center of this space is just going to be a great open living room. So they've got couches and rugs laid out so they can be able to look at this fireplace. This fireplace is actually going to be a cool see-through fireplace. So we're going to change the framing on that side and be able to set the unit here, and you'll be able to see all the way through into the dining room and watch the fire. In this great space, we've got a change in our trusses. So throughout most of the house, it's just a flat roof, and then we have a big vault in here. And we've done that so that we can have some beam accents and some ceiling trim. And our designer's got some really fun ideas that we haven't seen very often to do up in the ceiling that I think will draw a lot of attention. Nice big dining room that we've spec'd out to fit the dining room table that they have. They currently have a really pretty 12-foot marble dining table. So we made sure that we would have that space to fit it here for seating of the whole family during dinner time. Leaving from the kitchen living room into the foyer towards the entry, we've got this awesome foyer space. This is where their photography and their art is going to go. They've got beautiful art that's going to hang on all the walls over on both sides, and we're actually going to frame this whole ceiling into a big dome ceiling. We'll have accent lighting that's lined up to hit all of the pictures and really show off the characters and the colors and all of the art. We've got a really fun ceiling accent plan for this entry room, but we're not going to disclose that at this moment. We're going to wait for you guys to come and see it when we open up this house to the parade. Right off the entry, this is her main sewing and office room. A lot of different things planned for in here. Beautiful large windows to be able to let in lots of natural light. This doorway is a double French door with a big glass transom. Glass all over in the door to be able to see outside and just have a really well lit home. We've got a small correction here that we're going to get to before we insulate and drywall. These exterior walls are 12-inch walls, so these are double 2x6s, and we're actually going to stagger them so that we don't have a thermal bridge right here on our studs. Any external temperatures that get from the outside will get into this stud and can travel through the stud easier than heat and cold transferring through insulation. So we're going to move these over to make it more of a staggered wall to be able to give us a more efficient insulation. We've got this large room that is going to be his and hers closet. We laugh a little about it because it is quite a big space, which is really fun. And then we keep telling the owners that this will most likely be her closet, and we'll use this little space right here can be his closet, which if your marriage is like mine, that's really how it ends up being, which is fine. Whatever it takes to make the missus happy. Here is the master bathroom, and we have a beautiful tub that's going to sit right here in the middle of this window. This window's got a really fun feature. It has the privacy glass that you can turn on and off, so you can have privacy and it'll be obscured. And then when you want the natural light, you can turn the glass privacy off and be able to have it clear and see everything outside. We did drop our floors down for our master shower, and that's so that we have an infinity floor or a curbless floor for our showers. Through here is the master bedroom, and again we've got extra large windows and doors to be able to go out onto the patio. We've got a really fun s'more barbecue pit that's planned for right here. So they can come out and they can have their kids and grandkids over and be able to roast marshmallows right here and enjoy the outdoors, and then be able to come in if exterior elements are not optimal. This door I'm really excited about. It's arched like the rest of the doorways in the house, but this is going to be a French door. So we'll have an arched French door that opens into the bedroom so that they can have kind of that extra accent feature that you'll be able to see from the hallway for the master bedroom. Thanks for joining us here on the job site. We hope to see you guys here when we get to show it off finished at the 2026 Utah Valley Parade of Homes.